And now, in studio, bringing his Midwest values from the Show Me State to the land of San Diego. He's a triple threat, licensed as an attorney, mortgage broker, and a top producing realtor who's crushing the competition. Here to deliver you what's happening in the trenches of the market. Your host, Michael Gaddis.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170. The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of FrontierLoanGroup.com. And, you know, in the first segment, I was telling us a little story about one of my clients, Kathleen, who lives in Long Beach. And the whole purpose of telling that story was to kind of tell you that, you know, one of the things I recommended to her, because she was so isolated and alone, was that she should get involved with her local community or senior center. Because a senior center is an exceptional place for seniors to be able to interact with other seniors, to get involved. There's a lot of activities. There's a lot of love there that a lot of seniors might not be able to experience, because there are so many of these seniors that are isolated. They literally are by themselves. We don't know it. We drive by their homes. We don't think anything of it, but they are literally in there and they have nothing going on. And, you know, that's a scary proposition. So I've asked Leslie Hoffman of the Poway Senior Center to come in today, and she's joined us today. So thank you for coming in, Leslie.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you know, Leslie, you heard my story that I was telling in the first segment, and I'm sure that and senior centers, I'm sure, are not just for people like Kathleen. There's a lot of others, you know, other seniors who are not quite in her situation. But for someone that in a situation like Kathleen, a senior center can be like an eye-awakening experience, can it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when they come into the senior center, we're an activity center. And so there is something to do every single day that meets a multitude of desires and needs and fun. We have the gentlemen that come in every single day and play pool. And believe me, I hear them playing pool. They laugh. Sometimes they're so gregarious, I wonder if they're in an argument. So I kind of have to go to the back and go, "Are you guys fighting?" No, we're just having a really good time, because they're playing pool. And we have others that come in for activities such as mahjong, which is it's a tile game, which they kind of told me when I asked if I could learn to play it. They said no. They said it's too complicated, so you can't just sit in for a day and play it. So they kind of disinvited me, but that was okay, because that's what they do. It's a very involved game. And we have others that we've got bridge groups, and we have ping pong, and we have a Wii bowling group that meets once a month. We have bingo, which that's all volunteer run, and it actually covers half the cost of our center, because it's real money. When you come play bingo with us, you can actually win like $1,200. Well, $11.99.
Oh, wow.
It's got to stay under that tax.
That's right.
Yeah, so we have that twice a week. Heavily volunteer driven, so it's not only a place to come and enjoy, it's a place that if you want to just serve, we have tons of volunteer opportunities as well. And that's what gives a sense of gratitude and a sense of contribution at the same time.
Well, you know, I have another client that I was working on at the same time I was working on Kathleen. Her name is Connie, and Connie lives in Inglewood. Connie is 89 years old, going on 65. Connie is my hero, one of my heroes, because when I went to see her, she said, "Do you like to travel, Michael?" And I said, "Well, of course I love to travel." She goes, "Well, I want to show you something." So she brings me into her kitchen, and on her refrigerator, she has all these magnets of every place she's ever been. And she said, I said, "Wow, these were a lot of them." And they were. I mean, it was impressive. And she says, "You know, there's one missing." And I said, "Really?" So I'm looking over there, I'm like, "Where could you possibly not have gone?" She said, "Machu Picchu." And she says, "I am taking aqua aerobics classes every day because my goal is to go to Machu Picchu next year." And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" She says, "No." She goes, "I'm going to do it. That's on my bucket list, and I'm going to put that magnet on my refrigerator." And, you know, the reason I mention her is because she is the opposite of Kathleen. She's very involved with her local community or senior center. And she told me, when I told her a little bit about Kathleen, she says, "You need to have her go to her senior center, because her senior center will have activities. It will have things that that she likes to do. There's a lot of people who have different interests, and they'll introduce her to people, and, you know, they can become friends. I mean, that's a great, that socialization is really important to our seniors, and I'm sure that your senior center, has that going for it, isn't it?
Well, that's actually our number one goal, is socialization. Because like you said, Kathleen was isolated. And the last thing you want is an isolated senior. We don't want that. And so what we provide is an opportunity to not be isolated. We have a nutrition program, so if you can't drive in, we will bring you in the bus and you can have lunch with us. It's all donation based, as long as you're 16 over, being senior, but we want you in. We want you to be with us. We have line dancing twice a week. That's for everybody 18 and above. So you can be with people that are not seniors as well. You can enjoy yourself. Everything we do is free. There's only three things.
Wow.
There's only 3 things that come with a charge, and even those are donation based and very limited. But literally Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. there's something going on that has no charge. We have a membership fee that we ask it's more of a support. It's $35 a year if you choose, but you don't have to be a member. But they still choose to be members. They still choose to spend $35 and support us. But anybody can come and enjoy our time.
Well, we're talking to Leslie Hoffman of the Poway Senior Center, and one of the things I think that you just said that's really important is that a lot of the activities are free, and they have optional types of ways to contribute. That's really important, because I think the other thing a lot of people don't realize are that some of our seniors are on some really tight budgets. I mean, we're talking about, I've seen people in my world that have budgets that are so tight that they can't afford to go to a movie, they can't afford to go out to eat, they can't even afford to go to church or wherever they need to go if the gas prices go up, too much. So, I mean, the fact that there's a place that they can go, that has the ability to where they can engage in socialization and have activities, where, there's not a huge fee associated with it, to me is a huge thing.
Well, that's 100% what we're about. We're 100% about providing a space for people to come. We're the largest senior center, one of the largest in the whole county, and we have a teeny tiny staff. We have 2 full-time people and 5 part-time. I'm even part-time. It's a way for us to save money because we're a nonprofit. So even as the executive director, it's a part-time position. And so we put all of our resources and assets into our seniors and into our activities. And we create, I even did, during Christmas, I did cookie decorating one day. And I brought in, my sister was in town from Texas, and we made the cookies at my house, and we took in cookies to decorate for Christmas. And so many of the seniors said, I've never done this, or I haven't done this in 30, 40 years. And the joy of just decorating cookies together. And one person didn't even eat sugar, so she made all these beautiful cookies and then just handed them out to the other seniors so they could have a cookie.
Wow.
So we live in hugs. You walk in the door, you get hugged, you get spoken to, you get acknowledged, you get heard. And that's what we do. We want you to be there and enjoy life and embrace and have companionship.
Well, how do you reach out to seniors? How do you bring new members in? What is the method that because the reason I say that is because people like Kathleen, she didn't even know that. I mean, when I told her she should find a local senior center, she didn't even know that such a thing existed, to be honest with you. And I know that somebody might say, well, that's ridiculous. How could you not know? But she didn't. And so how do you reach out to seniors to let them know that, hey, there's a place that you can go to get out of your house, to break the monotony of being home for a period of time? How do you do that?
Well, and that's the difficulty. And like Kathleen is saying, there are people, we've been in Poway for over 40 years, and there are people that don't know we're there. They literally do not know that there is a Poway Senior Center. We are fortunate that we have the City of Poway's contracted service provider, so we have a city facility that we're in. And so every quarter we're in their newsletter. We have our website, we have our Facebook page. We're trying to get into this century. It's a little hard because, again, there's not much money being a nonprofit, so you work really hard to get out there. But it's limited. And so we're pretty much word of mouth. And part of that is our menu. Our chef, we've got a great menu and a new chef, and he's making wonderful food, and that's actually bringing people in. The bingo is advertised in various places. That brings people in. And then they smell the food that's cooking before they play bingo. And they go, that's really good. And then so they'll come and stay. But getting your word out there is difficult and it's expensive. And so as a nonprofit, it's how do we do that without utilizing all of our assets?
That you could be using for activities and
Correct.
doing those, because you do too much for membership drives, then you don't have those funds available to do the activities that that you're offering. So that's the real kind of conundrum that you're in, is how do we increase and get the word out that we're here to help people at the same time to keep the money in-house, that you're able, so that you can do the activities that you need to do.
Right. Well, we do participate in the Poway Parade. We take our bus out. My wonderful driver, Joanne, she's a gregarious, wonderful woman. So we take the bus and we decorate it and we wave and we just let the Poway community know that we're out there. But we also serve more than just Poway. We serve the zip codes 921, 27, 28, and 29. So the whole area that's around Poway, we also serve. And so we just try to get ourselves, when something cool happens, we put it in the paper. That's it, and that's the difficulty, is how to let people know. But every time we have a senior come in that says, I didn't even know you were here, and yet we've been there for 40 years.
Well, and I think that's the important part. I mean, I think that everyone, the neighbors, for example, when I moved into my first house, my next door neighbor was an 84-year-old World War II veteran. He actually drove a tank for Patton during World War II. The seniors that are there are all around us. We just need to maybe take some time and introduce them and say, hey, you know what? I heard on the radio, I heard a woman named Leslie Hoffman was talking about the Poway Senior Center, and I'm just wondering, hey, have you ever heard of that? Have you get the word out? Don't assume that they know that it exists, because that's really important to your cause, to be able to help all these seniors, is to make sure that they're aware that it even is there.
Right, and actually we have a wonderful event coming up in March. It's called Pets in the Park, and the city of Poway's been very generous, and they've allowed us space in Old Poway Park, which is incredibly beautiful. And so we're having a fundraiser, bringing people with their pets, and it all will benefit the Poway Senior Center, and it's just getting our name out. We're members of the chamber. We just want to get our name out so that people know.
Well, after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Leslie Hoffman at the Poway Senior Center. That's PowaySeniorCenter.org. You're listening to The Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer.